Hello, my name is Leroy Blevins. Welcome to Mysteries and Histories. In this episode here, what I like to do, I want to talk about some of the things that's been floating around about the JFK assassination, just like, the so-called gunman that was there that day, and they're trying to point out, well, it's this person, that person. Men I'm really talking about is like Frank Sturgis or E. Howard Hunt or Charles Harrelson. Now, a lot of people say, well, the tramps were E. Howard Hunt, Charles Harrelson, Frank Sturgis, and everything else. Okay, but is there any evidence to back it up? No, there isn't. That's just a story that someone made up, and they did like a little side by side saying, see here, look, they look the same. Now, really, they don't look the same because there's a lot of stories out there that people says, well, here, this person was here because here's an image of him, and then they do a side by side and everything else. But that's another reason why I want to make this video here to show people there's a lot of false claims out there. Anybody could sit there and take an image of somebody and say, hey, here he is right here, when he wasn't there, just like me. I went ahead and I have an image here, as you see here. Now, I could sit there and say, hey, this man here is Lyndon B. Johnson. Or I could say this man is Governor Conley, okay, because they have some similarities between them, especially Lyndon B. Johnson has more similarity to him than Governor Conley does. But, there's a similarity there. I could say that as well. But we all know that Lyndon B. Johnson was in a follow-up car and Governor Conley was shot that day and he's at Parkland Hospital. But that's what people does. They take these images and they say, oh, here's this person or here's that person. Just like when they talk about the tramp. Okay, here's E. Howard Hunt. Reason why it's E. Howard Hunt? Because they say it's E. Howard Hunt, but it's really not E. Howard Hunt. Because we look at it and we can see they might have a little similarity in certain sections, but they're not the same exact person. Okay, just like when we watch the ear, his ear is rounded off right here. If you watch my cursor, see how his ear right here comes sloping in and then back out and then under. Okay, same thing here. It comes out, comes in, comes out, and then goes back in. But this guy's ear here comes straight around, and that's it. Okay, there's some similarities, but there's not. This is not E. Howard Hunt. But a lot of people want to still push that issue that this is E. Howard Hunt, want the old tramp. Now, when I was sitting there viewing this image here, okay, and as I point out here, this colorized image, I say, if E. Howard Hunt was there, this is most likely him right here. So I contacted Mr. Hunt's son, okay, on Facebook, which he goes around, John St. Hunt, I think his name is. But yeah, I talked to him and I showed him the image, it says, if your father was there, okay, he's not the old tramp. If your father was there, E. Howard Hunt was there, he'd be the guy which I show in the trench coat, okay, which I showed in this image here. I said this would be most likely the man right here, okay. This would be E. Howard Hunt right here and not the one that we see or as one of the tramps as they portray him. So he writes me back, and here's what he writes me. I have seen the picture of Dealey Plaza, and the trench coat man does look like my father. I never thought he was one of the tramps, but there was a stronger resemblance. Are there more shots of the trench coat man? Okay, well, I told him, I'll look for him, And as you see here, even the date, 12/8/2013, this is 5 years ago, when I showed him this. But people still want to continue on, hey, the old tramp is E. Howard Hunt. Okay, just like when they go for the other two tramps, okay, or let me bring this one up first. Just like this guy here, they say, oh, this is Bush here. So this proves that Bush was in part of assassination because here he is right here. This is not even Bush either. Okay, might look a little similarities, but we could tell this is not Bush right here because see how his upper lip sticks up out higher, his lips are not. His lips are together. Right here, his lower lip is in closer than his outer lip. His chin rounded off, just straight rounds off here. His comes out and around. Okay, the earlobe's not even the same. The hairline's not even the same. Okay, the nose is not even the same. But people want to push this issue, say, oh, here is Bush. But it's really not Bush. Okay, that's what I'm saying when it comes to this case. Okay, they want to throw all this other stuff out. Now I want to show you something that really does get confusing when they come out with all these false stories. Okay, as you see here, they say right here, this is Charles Harrelson, Woody Harrelson's father. This is him right here. He's that tramp. Okay? He's not that tramp. But people's out there saying, no, he's that tramp. But it's awful funny that also they claim that this is Charles Harrelson is the tall tramp now. First he's a short tramp, and now he's a tall tramp. So see, we got one person over here saying that Charles Harrelson is a short tramp. And we have this person over here says Charles Harrelson is a tall tramp. Okay? Who's right? That's what we got to look at when it comes to this JFK assassination case. Everybody, oops, done it again. We'll get it right one day. As you see, I was going to make another video after this. But anyway, then we got this guy right here. This is supposed to be Charles Harrelson. And this is the tall tramp right here. Again, a side view. They want to keep on pushing these issues about this and trying to say, you know, this is Harrelson. And they even come out with this too. That's what really gets me. Okay, as you see here, I'm pointing this up right here. Who they claim that to be? Charles Harrelson. Okay, which is the tall tramp. Now we got somebody over here which claims that, no, actually this is Frank Sturgis. Okay, now it's Frank Sturgis. So see, now we have the same tramp who's supposed to be Charles Harrelson, but he's also Frank Sturgis. Do you see what I'm saying? And then they got this guy right here, as I'm pointing out, as I'm bringing this up here. I want to bring this up so people can see, okay, every one of them at the same time. That was my wife, Tracy. As you see here, we have Charles Harrelson, supposed to be the short tramp, and the tall tramp. Okay? And then we have Frank Sturgis is supposed to be the tall tramp. So see, we're not getting no further in this case because of all these false claims that are being made. Because there's too many people out there trying to get their names in the history books, trying to make money off of this case, trying to get that fame and that glory. But all they're doing is confusing everybody. That's why the government can sit back. That's the truth. That's why the government can sit back and says, we're not worried about it, because let people make all these claims and stuff, because then people knows that they're nut jobs. As what they look at us, we're all nut jobs because of conspiracy, and everybody knows it wasn't a conspiracy. And that's why you see these JFK researchers that's over here claiming that the lone assassin was Oswald. There was only 3 shots fired. This is the reason why that they are more up here than the other JFK researchers are down here about a conspiracy. And the only reason why they report this more than they do this is because up here, they're showing the same evidence year after year after year. Down here, they're showing us and pointing out this false information down here with the JFK researchers saying it was conspiracy. They're pulling out all these false information and stuff. And these guys over here that believes that Oswald alone gunman, laughing at these people over here because they're saying, oh, they can't even make up their minds on who is the tall tramp. Is it Charles Harrelson? Is it Frank Sturgis? Oh, they got E. Howard Hunt here and E. Howard Hunt there, you know. All this other stuff. They got Bush being there, and Bush wasn't even there. They got this Secret Service agents, even in the stories. When I was reading stories and stuff like that, eyewitness accounts, okay, and people sitting there saying, well, they talked to this FBI agent. Well, it can't be this FBI agent here because over here, they was in a different part of town or different part of the states or anywhere else. They was in different locations, but they claim they talked to this person, that person. Okay, with all this false information out there, with all this false stuff that's going on out there, this is why people doesn't believe in a conspiracy no more. Even though they'll sit there and say, well, there's a lot of people believe in a conspiracy, really they don't. As I point out in my other video, they really don't believe there's a conspiracy. They believe Oswald is a lone assassin. There was only 3 shots fired. That's it. Because of all this false information, because even researchers can't even come up with solid proof or solid evidence. They got to come up with stories like this. We got, excuse me again, Charles Harrelson, small tramp. Charles Harrelson, tall tramp. No tall tramps, Frank Sturgis. You got one person saying this, another person saying this, and another person saying this. So you got 3 different individual researchers claiming they're JFK researchers. They're out there. There's 3 stories right there. 3 different stories now. Okay, this is why people doesn't believe in anything when it comes to JFK assassination anymore, because they see this, and anybody sit there and look at this and says, and put these three together and go, okay, that man's supposed to be Charles Harrelson. That man over there is supposed to be Charles Harrelson. No, he's Frank Sturgis. You know, they're looking at the stuff, and that's why a lot of people calls us names like nutcases, we're ignorant, or one thing or another. They call us these names because of these claims that were made, and there's no evidence to back it up. All these other persons there, okay? Just like I point out, E. Howard Hunt. They keep on wanting to push this issue that this old tramp right here is E. Howard Hunt, when it's really not E. Howard Hunt whatsoever. Okay, just like his story, E. Howard Hunt. When we listen to the tapes, all he's basically saying is the big event. He did not specify it was a JFK assassination. He did not specify it was JFK. He did not even specify on there the tapes in Dallas or Dealey Plaza. There's none of that in there. It just says, we're going to call it the big show. What are we calling a big show? It doesn't say on the tapes what we're calling a big show or anything else. Okay, or the big event, I should say, was the big event. Okay, they're not, it doesn't say anywhere, just in that video recording or that deathbed confession is basically just the big event. Okay, what was the big event? Could have been Watergate. Okay, because we know that E. Howard Hunt was part of the Watergate issue. So was that the big event? Or was Korea the big event? Okay, there's a lot of things you could point out during that time they can call the big event. But like I said, when I listen to tapes and stuff like that, if he specified it was the JFK assassination, or if he specified in that recording it was Dallas, Texas, or Dealey Plaza, which we don't hear none of that in tape, but just the big event, and people's interpreting what they want, just like when they did, when they interpreted the part of the open mic, as I point out, and I made another video. They interpreted, oh, on this you could hear 6 or 7 shots, but they didn't. They interpreted it wrong because that recording was done from 11:58 to 12:06, which is way before the assassination took place. Okay, we're talking almost a half an hour before the assassination took place. That's when the recording was done. So how can you hear shots on that recording when it was already recorded and done with before the assassination? So see, people want to take small little pieces and piece it together and throw a big old story with it just to throw people off, because too many people out there today and over the last 50 plus years are trying to get their names out there. They want to be known for something. That's the American dream, be known for something and everything else. But to me, every time I look at this case and I open up this case and I talk about this case, I look at it as a murder case. A murder case does not get solved until you get rid of all the false information and all the lies that's made into this case. That's how you solve a case. Okay? Just like a lot of people don't understand. Yeah, I spent almost a year and a half alone, or almost 2 years, almost 2 years when I was working on this case, of trying to see if there's any evidence to back up any of these claims are made, and then going over all these claims and over all this and over all that, just to sit there and see what was fake and what was real, what was a lie and what was the truth, you know, even piecing that together. That's why I said people don't understand how much time and effort I've put into this. But I just wanted to bring this out and show people that when they talk about E. Howard Hunt being there, there's no evidence there. He's not the tramp. He's not the old tramp. Charles Harrelson, there's no evidence for him being there as well. Frank Sturgis is the same thing. It's just a story made up, and they're going to pull up a picture of Frank Sturgis, push him, stick him beside one of the tramps right here and say, here's Frank Sturgis, when we can see there's a big difference between both of these. Okay, but I just want to make this video to let everybody know this information and stuff. So if you're doing your own investigation stuff, don't look at any of the tramps as any of these guys here, Charles Harrelson, Frank Sturgis, or Hunt, because they are not them. Don't look at the part where Bush is supposed to be there when they're going to show this picture when that's not even Bush. Okay, just like I pointed out, I could sit there and say, hey, this is Governor Conley, okay, or this is Lyndon B. Johnson. As you can see, there's some resemblance to it, but we know for a fact that this is not Governor Conley and this is not Lyndon B. Johnson. But that's what people does. They take a picture, stick it beside and say, here's this person or here's that person. So don't forget that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to tell your friends about it. Share this video with on your social medias and stuff. Let other people know this information. Thank you, and you have a pleasant day.